Araquel Bloss, thank you so much for joining us. How are you today?
Hi, Benjamin. I'm very well, thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you for having me on.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. So I want to tell everyone who's watching me probably knows about your work already. You're the founder and executive director of PIP, the Progressive Independent Party, and you are making moves right now to, I guess the best way to say it is to unify the left, and not so much this broad unite blue, not that, not the Democrats, but to unite the leftists in America. And you also have a campaign, anti-war campaign that's going on. Tell me about these two different campaigns that you have going on.
Well, I'm glad you had me on because I'm very excited to let progressives and know and let the left know that we are working diligently and we're having success and we are uniting the left in many, many ways. And we've learned through being a major part of Occupy Inauguration that when we do actions together, when we find our common causes and our shared values, coming together becomes very, very easy. When President Trump authorized the, you know, illegal, well, let's say the internationally illegal missile strikes
Hmm.
against Syria,
Hmm.
we were able to unite people immediately for flash activism, and many organizations came together, and we
Yeah.
had pop-up activism and protests coast to coast within 24 hours.
Wow.
So taking that concept, Pip kind of took the way, asking all these organizations to come together, ask their followers to create pop-up activism and be ready to create actions coast to coast anti-war, and we have a very large coalition. So it's just another example of what the left can do when we just focus on uniting with the causes we all feel very strongly about. So we're excited about that. We're excited to be a part of that, and that's a little bit of what PIP is about. We are about uniting, not stepping on toes, but
Hmm.
joining hands.
Hmm.
And I can go on, but
Yeah.
we are. I mean, we have done a lot in the last year, and we're really proud. We're proud to be partnered very tightly with Progressive Army and Lift Up Voices, Progressive Voices through independent media. We also have a campaign right now, hashtag MSM Detox, asking
Yeah.
everyone to cut cable cords
Yeah.
and watch the independent progressive news that we elevate.
Absolutely. And you do great work. I actually want to speak about it personally. You have created a platform that amplifies at a minimum, right? What you did at Occupy Inauguration was so impressive, and how quickly all those things came together. And I think it's tied to how I hate to use this word, but efficacious your social media presence is, on Facebook. But anytime you share or lift one of our voices, it just spreads with such quickness that it's amazing. So we want to thank you from the Progressive Army, because you've been so intricate in helping us with getting our voices out. Every show, from mine to the way with Anoa, but then also with the movement that you have going on. We the people say no war. Tell us a little bit about that campaign, and what are some of your plans and goals with that?
Well, we are creating, like you said, our social media presence is very important. And every time we do an action or when we elevate voices that are important to us, like Progressive Army, I mean, I'm so proud that you said that, not because of ego, but because you guys have so many, just it gives me the goosebumps, exceptional, bright voices that need elevating. So we're just
Wow.
proud to have the platform to do that, and that's what we do. We build platform and then we give it away. I mean, we have a lot of people that need lifted in this country. We have a lot of voices not heard, and that's part of our job, and that builds trust between organizations. So then when we ask them, please join us in this campaign, this no war, absolutely no more war campaign, people, they're ready. They're ready to work with us,
Mm.
because we're not partners. I don't want to be per se a leader. I want to be a spokesperson for my organization, but I want everyone to be empowered. to use their social media presence,
Yeah.
because we are in tumultuous times where our rights are being taken away, civil rights are being taken away. This monstrous, religious freedom bill
Yeah.
may pass on a federal level, and we need to be prepared to
Yeah.
act quickly and massively and be a little bit more unpredictable than we've been.
Hmm.
So PIP has three tiers. That's building electoral power for the left,
Right.
movement building, and independent media. Because without one of those, we will fail. As long as most of America is watching MSM News, they don't get the truth, which hurts the movement building, which hurts the electoral power. So we need to kind of work on all three together. So
Absolutely.
that's what we do.
Absolutely, and that's why we're proud to be partnering with you, particularly with the No More War movement. And you have a very impressive list of people who are partnering with PIP, Activate Now, American Indian Movement, Bernie Sanders Brigade, Disrupt America, Election Justice, Environmental Coffee House, the Equality Coalition, Humanitarian United Movement and Action Network, Lee Camp, the Justice Party. There's so many here. I'm just kind of perusing through it. The Same Progressive, Progressive or Bust, Real Progressive, Revolution Truth, Revolt, Truth Against the Machine. You're really creating a coalition here that is going to be a force to be reckoned with. What are the next moves for PIP, and what can our viewers, our listeners, and our supporters do to further your movement?
Well, we love the question. I mean, we ask that everyone support all of our partners. Like I say, when one of us has a win, we all have a win. So first, we're not infighting, we're not competing. We're focused on these movements that we can build together. So, please go to progressiveindependentparty.org, sign up to get our newsletters, follow us on social media, because what we do when we call upon an action, we will get it out to all of our coalition members to help us push it. And then we will promote the events that are created around the country, coast to coast, on our PIP page. We'll be adding those so that everyone can find an action near them. What we're asking people is to begin to get comfortable in organizing in your local communities.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody is comfortable with that.
Yeah.
And there may come a time where many people that are not comfortable standing up and getting out in the streets will need to stand up and get out in the street. So these little things build confidence in our movement, so we can build larger, more quicker, less predictable, so we can actually impact change. So I'm talking to the common person when we call upon these no war actions. I'm asking folks to, make a little Facebook event. Give it to us so we can help you share it. Get out there with a few of your friends with a couple signs at the courthouse, and just feel comfortable, be proud of it.
Yeah.
Meet people in your community, because in the end, if we have any sort of emergency in this country, what's going to keep us successful and moving forward and making our voices heard are our connections and coalitions on the local level.
Yeah.
So it's kind of a double thing. We're creating a national coalition, but at the same time, we're asking everyday people to get comfortable creating events and going down and making sure your voice is heard. And there's a lot of people not activated yet, and those are the people that we're definitely calling upon and asking all those members of the coalition to ask the same, to get everyday common people out there on the streets, so our movement can continue to build.
Araquel, I have to, I was getting ready to let you get back to your evening, but you've said something twice that I want to ask you about. You said that we need to be more unpredictable, less predictable. What do you mean by that, and how do you see that benefiting the movement? And give us some examples.
Well, I mean, I guess oftentimes I know you have expressed on your show some, a feeling of dire urgency in many times. We are in an atmosphere where it's very unpredictable. Our president is unpredictable, and in my view is that the everyday normal kind of activism that we've been doing is not going to work unless we can, in worst case scenarios, hit the streets in mass critical numbers without depending on any one person or organization to call it. So I don't want it to be dependent on myself or Sane Progressive or Lead Camp. These have to be able to be called upon by any organization, and we need to be fast.
Mm.
There may come a time where this will be essential to maintaining our constitutional rights. And so that's what I mean by unpredictable.
Yeah.
If we begin to lose our rights, our freedom of speech, if protest starts to become illegal, today a woman, a protester from Code
Yeah.
Pink,
Yeah.
was found guilty for laughing at Jeff Sessions during his confirmation hearing. When those things start to happen, if we don't hit the streets, it will start to become harder and harder and harder to use those rights and express our freedoms. Also, we have militarized police, and they are censoring. We know through No Dapple and North Dakota that they censor activity online, and therefore we need to not just show up in DC. We need to not just show up in LA. We need to pop up all coast to coast, middle, Idaho, Oregon, Indiana, Kentucky.
Yeah.
We need to be everywhere, because that's how we're going to get stuff done, is to get the attention of the local and the national media.
Absolutely, absolutely. Thanks so much for digging in and explaining that a little bit more. I've been speaking with Araquel Bloss. She is founder and executive director of PIP, Progressive Independent Party. You can find her on Twitter at Araquel Bloss, and you can find them at progressiveindependentparty.org. And on Twitter, PIP Unite. We're going to share that in our chat room and everywhere else that we can get the word out. Araquel, thanks so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me, and I wish you guys continued luck on, elevating your stories and all your great folks.
Thanks so much. I appreciate it. My pleasure.